In this video, I'm sharing about how to stop feeling impatient about what you're manifesting so that you can more easily create it. But first, if you are new here, then welcome. My name is Adrianne. I'm a manifesting coach and intuitive guide, and on my channel, we talk about getting into the flow and manifesting with ease. So if that is something you're interested in, I invite you to click the subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you'll be the first to know when I publish new videos. Before we talk about how to stop feeling impatient about what we want to manifest, let's first discuss what causes this feeling of impatience. I think a lot of times it is kind of this mistaken belief, and the belief is that we need this thing, this relationship, or this amount of money, or this career, or this business success, or whatever it is, in order to be happy or to feel good enough or to feel complete or whatever it is. And so we're feeling really impatient because we are seeing this thing as like the source of our true happiness or of our ability to feel complete or fulfilled. And of course, when we see things in that way, that makes us feel really overeager and really impatient for the manifestation. And that's a problem because feeling that sense of lack and that sense of incompletion and that sense of impatience is something that doesn't match the end state or the desired reality that we're wanting to manifest. And so those feelings just kind of slow down and delay and keep the manifestation away from us. When we're feeling impatient about what we want to manifest, a lot of times that can mean that we get really tempted to jump into action and try to make our manifestation happen a little too soon before the energy is fully lined up. And this is definitely like a challenge that I have had in the past with manifesting before I became more savvy about it, and have several examples in different life areas of times when I've kind of made this mistake. But one that I will share is kind of in the context of business. And in the past, if I have been really wanting to manifest like something in my business, maybe an amount of money or like a successful offering or something like that, and if I've been feeling impatient about that outcome, or like I really needed to manifest that money or to have like this successful launch of a product or service or offering, then if I'm coming from that energy and I create something and just kind of like put it out there from that energy, a lot of times that is the case where it doesn't really sell very well, or it doesn't really manifest the money that I was hoping that it would, versus the other times where I haven't felt as impatient or as kind of like needy for the result in order to like feel satisfied or feel successful or feel happy or whatever, but been more acting from more of a sense of abundance or a sense of true inspiration or true intuitive guidance. Then those times have been way more successful for me and way more like profitable or like income generating. And so that's one example of where this impatient energy can really be a hindrance, because I mean, in some ways it may not seem like that big of an issue of kind of jumping into action with what we want to manifest, but one of the problems with that is that when we do sometimes take action too soon out of impatience, and then we get a negative result, like in my case, like I don't sell the thing that I wanted to sell, or like it's not very successful or whatever it is, then that can really like cause us to just add more negative energy about the topic for ourselves. Like it can cause more self-doubt, or it can cause more like resistance than if we would have just simply been able to handle the impatient energy and help ourselves feel more in the energy of happiness, whether or not the thing manifests, and acting from true inspiration. Then that leads to taking action that is more inspired and that is more in alignment with the end result that we want. And so I hope you can kind of understand the point that I'm trying to make about the power of kind of healing this impatient energy ahead of time, instead of letting it get to the place where it inspires us into this, like, I'm just going to make it happen type of action, because that can really be counterproductive in the long run to what we want to manifest. So let's talk about healing this feeling of impatience. Let's talk about kind of 3 reasons that I have, or 3 different ways of looking at things to kind of help bust through this belief that can kind of sometimes get lodged in our minds that we need this certain manifestation to happen in order for us to be happy or feel good enough or feel successful or whatever it is. So the first idea about this that I want to share is I want to ask you a question. How often has you manifesting something that you wanted made you happy forever? Like, I feel like that's kind of the mindset that we get in sometimes when we have something that we really want, that we're feeling impatient about, is we have this sense of like, oh, if this thing just happened, then that would just be the greatest thing ever. And we have this underlying belief of like, that's going to make me happy forever. And that's never the case. Like, just think back to a time when you have really manifested something that you wanted, and yeah, it didn't make you happy forever. It probably, made you really happy for a little while, and maybe you, if it's still in your reality now, you always feel appreciation for it, but it's like, not long after we manifest one thing, are we looking to the next thing that we want to manifest? And so it's helpful to kind of keep that in mind, that there's no one manifestation that's going to be like the be all end all for our happiness or our success or our fulfillment. And so we need to stop putting what we want to manifest on such a pedestal and making it seem like this thing that's going to be the be all end all thing. And yeah, remember that nothing in the outer world is going to have that kind of power for us. And that can help kind of break the spell of impatience right there, that little change in perspective. And then the second point that I wanted to make about this is just kind of tuning in emotionally to how does that feel to give something outside of you that much power over you, or like that much power of your happiness? Like, how does it feel to think that you can't really be happy until this result manifests? If you really think about it, it's like that feels very disempowering. That feels very like taking away your own freedom and your own sense of power. And so sometimes just kind of like realizing that that's what we're doing when we're feeling impatient a lot of times can be also something that really helps us kind of chill out and remember that, we have the power over our happiness. It's not anything outside of us. And then kind of driving this point home again, even further, the third thing that I wanted to share about this is, manifestations don't equal happiness. There are a lot of studies that show that people in third world countries that don't have a lot of material possessions, or like the manifestations that a lot of us may be aiming for, are more happy than people in more developed parts of the world who perhaps have more material goods and material abundance. And so obviously it's not manifestations, or material manifestations at least, that equal happiness. And also, like, there are people who are on their dream vacation who are still not happy because they haven't practiced being happy when they weren't on vacation. It's like the context doesn't change it. That's an example that I think I heard from Abraham before, but it's really true. Like, there's been times when I've been in a dream come true scenario, or like on vacation or somewhere really great, and if I had kind of a rough start to the day, or if it was at a time before I really was paying close attention to my vibe and kind of trying to maintain it in all situations, then I could still get cranky, or I could still get unhappy. It wasn't the manifestation that guaranteed my happiness. Even if it was something that I really wanted that was happening, I could still be unhappy potentially. It wasn't the manifestation that was the key factor. It was my thoughts and my perspective. And as a corollary to that, there's also been times in my life where I've been in situations where I thought it was kind of like the worst case scenario, and through just deciding to and kind of finding creative ways of thinking about the situation, I've been able to be really happy within it and really successful, or really like manifest the best case scenario out of that situation. And so kind of thinking about some of these examples can help us, again, kind of connect the dots in our minds between the fact that manifestation doesn't equal happiness, and so we don't need to feel impatient for the manifestation because of that. So the successful conscious creator mindset is really to realize that we don't need the manifestation to be happy. We don't want to put off our happiness until the manifestation happens. We don't want to jump into action because we're impatient and trying to make it happen because we think we need it to be happy. The successful conscious creator mindset is to find and cultivate high levels of happiness now, regardless of what is or isn't manifesting, and to be comfortable delaying action until the energy is fully lined up around the manifestation and you can't really help but take action. Like, that's kind of the place where ideally you want to get to, is where it's just like so obvious what to do and you can't help yourself but to take the action. You feel really inspired and really drawn to do it. That's when you know that the energy is really calling it from you. Or as an alternative to that, like, successful conscious creators know that it doesn't even always require them to take action, and sometimes the thing is just going to fall into your lap. It's just going to happen on its own when you are content to just cultivate the energy and to find your happiness, regardless of the manifestations, regardless of the conditions. So let's quickly cover 4 ways to cultivate this feeling of unconditional happiness and to transform impatience into feeling good right now. Way number 1 is affirm. So just simply affirm to yourself that you're supposed to feel happy and good right now, regardless of what is or isn't manifesting. Sometimes that can be the most helpful thing, is just kind of reminding ourselves, like, okay, if I'm getting caught up in the manifestation and feeling impatient for it, that's not really how I'm supposed to feel. I'm designed to feel good no matter what, because it's not manifestations that cause happiness, it's how I use my mind. And so just kind of reminding yourself about that can help you kind of break the trance of feeling impatient and redirect your mind back towards the more helpful focus, which would be, how can I find ways to feel really good right now, regardless of what is or isn't happening with manifestation. Okay, way number 2 is to stop putting your happiness on hold. So if there's anything that you're waiting until the desired end result manifests before you do it, and it's something that would feel good or that would make you happy, go ahead and do it now. Don't put it off. Go ahead and let yourself have the fun or the positive, end result. Maybe go ahead and throw the party now that you would throw when the manifestation happens, or whatever it is. Go ahead and let yourself do that now. Way number 3 is to enjoy the manifesting journey to the max. And so this is one that I especially enjoy. And what I mean by this is basically there's a lot of pleasure to be had in the process of manifesting, as far as it can feel really good to find new perspectives about what you're wanting to manifest that feel really good. It can feel great to release limiting beliefs and kind of find new ways of looking at things. It can feel really good to do focus wheels, like I covered in a recent video. It can feel really good to look for the signs that what you want is manifesting and kind of spot the little winks from the universe, like I covered in another video that I'll link up on the screen here as well. Just finding ways to really enjoy the manifesting process itself can help with impatience a lot, because if you're really kind of enjoying this dance that you're doing with the universe of these signs and synchronicities that you're manifesting, or you're really enjoying this process, this internal process of kind of finding ways to feel better and finding ways to enjoy the idea of the manifestation, then that automatically helps to lessen the feeling of impatience and amplify the feeling of pleasure right now, even before anything that you want has manifested. And then finally, way number 4 is enjoy other areas of your life to the max. And so if there's one specific area that you're trying to improve or you're trying to create manifestations in, a lot of times that can draw a lot of our focus into that area. And if what we want isn't happening yet, then yeah, that can cause the impatience, or that can kind of like start to bring down our vibe overall. But for a lot of the times it's like, yeah, sure, maybe there's that one area where you're not right now creating what you want, but there's probably lots of other areas where there are things that are flowing into reality easily that you do want, that you've already manifested, that you enjoy or that you appreciate, or that you could focus on enjoying and appreciating even more, and really like using those as the support in finding this unconditional happiness, so you can show yourself that if things aren't going the way you want right now in your career situation, but you have a lot of really great friendships, or you have a romantic partner that you really love spending time with, or you live in a part of the city that's really beautiful and you really enjoy where you live, then it's like you can shift your focus to enjoying those areas really to the max, and that can help overall with the balance of feeling greater happiness and less kind of pressure and impatience for the area that you're wanting to improve. So those are my tips and tricks and insights around releasing feelings of impatience and instead cultivating feelings of unconditional happiness that really help you to feel better along the way to what you want, and also that really help to speed up the manifesting journey. Ironically, it's like when you get to that place where you don't really need it to happen because you're already feeling really good, you're feeling really happy, you're not feeling impatient, that really helps the thing that you're wanting manifest more quickly and easily anyway. So it's really like a win-win situation for sure. So I hope you found those tips helpful. And if you would like more manifesting tips and tricks and inspiration from me, then I definitely recommend downloading my free guide to the 7 Habits of Highly Magical People. I have a link to this in the description box below this video, so you can check it out if you're interested. If you like this video, I definitely recommend checking out this next video all about 10 signs manifestation is on its way, because as I was just mentioning earlier, looking for the signs that the manifestation is on its way can be something that helps you enjoy the process of manifesting even more, which can really help with lessening any feelings of impatience. So thank you again for joining me today, and until next time, happy manifesting.